You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Monday, August the 17th, 2020. The Rangers and Orioles played each other. Final score of this game was 12-9. The Rangers came out on top. There was plenty of offense in this game. Each team had 14 hits. The Rangers got the lead early. They got one run in the first inning. The second through fourth innings were quiet, but then in the fifth, each team scored 2 runs. The Rangers still had the lead, though. The Rangers got an extra run in the sixth inning, but that was before the Orioles scored 3 in the bottom half of that sixth inning. So the Orioles got back in the game. Then each team scored 4 in the seventh inning, so it was still pretty even. But in the eighth, the Rangers broke out with a 2-run inning, and then they took a pretty safe lead in the ninth after scoring 2 more runs. They ended up winning this game by 3. Cody Allen got the win. Richard Blyer got the loss, his first of the year. And Jose Leclerc now has 28 saves on the season. The Rays and Yankees played each other in a game where runs came at a premium. Final score of this game, 1-0. And to add to that, Clark Schmidt had a no-hitter going into the ninth inning, and he lost that no-hitter on the first batter of that top of the ninth inning, but he pitched a masterful performance in this one. But the Yankees only got 1 run, so the Rays were still in this game throughout its entirety, but they failed to score at all, and they got shut out by Clark Schmidt and Aroldis Chapman, who ended up earning the save in this one, and Schmidt got the win, his second of his Major League career. Ryan Yarbrough for the Rays got the loss. He's now 10-11 on the season. The Indians and Athletics played each other. Final score of this game, 11-6. The Indians came out on top. There's plenty of offense in this game as well. The Indians didn't score in the first, didn't score in the ninth, but scored in every inning in between that. They scored at least 1 run in every inning minus the first and the ninth. The Athletics put up a healthy amount of offense themselves. They got 2 in the fourth and 4 in the eighth, but they failed to score as much as the Indians did, and despite scoring 6, they still fell short by 5 runs. The Athletics also committed 3 errors as a team in this game. Carlos Carrasco got the win, his 11th of the year, and Frankie Montas got the loss. He's now 9-7. The Dodgers and Cubs played each other, and the Cubs ended up winning this game. Final score was 11-4. Each of these teams put up at least 1 crooked number in a specific half inning. The Cubs just had 3 crooked numbers. They put up 3 in the third, 4 in the fifth, and 3 in the seventh inning, so they had a pretty healthy lead. They added 1 in the eighth just for good measure. The Dodgers didn't score their first runs until the sixth inning, where they got 3, and then they scored a run in the seventh, totaling their 4, but they still fell short by 6. John Lester got the win, and David Price got the loss. And my math was wrong. The Dodgers lost this game by 7 runs, not by 6. The Brewers and Braves played each other. Final score of this game, 9-1. The Braves ended up winning. The Braves started scoring early. They got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third inning. They also started scoring again. They got 1 in the sixth and 3 in the seventh inning, so they were scoring later on. The Brewers scored their first and only run in the top of the seventh. Cole Hamels got the win, and Brett Anderson got the loss. The Mariners and Astros played each other in an AL West matchup. Final score of this game, 17-7. The Mariners ended up winning, and there was so much offense in this game. The Mariners got 21 hits as a team compared to the Astros 11. The Astros put on a decent offensive performance, but the Mariners went above and beyond. They won this game by 10, and they got more than 20 hits as a team. The Mariners got 8 runs in that first inning. That gave them the lead, and even if they would have gone scoreless in the rest of the innings of the game, the Astros still would have fell short because the Astros scored 7 runs in the entire game while the Mariners got 8 just in the first inning. But the Mariners continued to score. They failed to score in the 7th and the 9th innings, but for the other 7 innings, they scored at least 1 run. The Astros put up a good fight, too. I mean, again, that's a decent amount of runs to score 7. They got 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, and 1 in the eighth, so they missed out on 4 innings of scoring, but they fell short by 10. Marco Gonzalez got the win, and Josh James got the loss. The Royals and Diamondbacks played each other in an interleague game. Final score of this game, 7-3. The Royals ended up winning. The Diamondbacks took an early lead. They got 3 in the bottom of the third inning. That would be the only half inning that they scored in this entire game. The Royals immediately in the next half inning scored 3 to tie it up, and then they scored 4 in the top of the 5th inning to take that 7-3 lead. Neither team scored from the 6th inning to the 9th inning, so the Royals ended up winning this game. Jorge Lopez got the win, and Zach Gallen got the loss. And the Nationals and Rockies played each other. 6-3 was the final score of this game. The Nats, 6 runs on 13 hits, and the Rocks, 3 runs on 8 hits. The Nationals started scoring early. They got 1 in the first inning and then 3 in the third. The Rockies made it a game in the bottom of the fourth by scoring 3 runs, so they were down 1 at that point. It was a closer game, but then the Nationals tacked on some insurance in the later innings. They got 1 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th inning. Got 6 runs, took a 6-3 lead, and kept that lead in the bottom of the 9th inning to secure the win. Nate Pearson got his 3rd Major League win in this game. Jeff Hoffman got the loss. He's now 3-9. And Sean Doolittle at 33 saves now on the season. Let's take a look at standings now, starting in the American League East. The New York Yankees are 75-50 after beating the Rays today. They still lead the division. Blue Jays are 68-58, 7.5 games back. The Rays lost to the Yankees today. They're 65-60 overall, 10 games back of first place. The Red Sox 62-63, still hanging around the wild card standings, but they are not close to the division lead. They're 13 games back of the Yankees, and they're in 4th place. And the Orioles are 47-77, 27.5 games back of first place. They've lost 6 in a row most recently, and their division elimination number is 11. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins lost again. They're 86-41 now. They're still at the top of the division, though. The White Sox, 71-53. They're 13.5 games back. They're on a 3-game winning streak. The Indians are on a 7-game winning streak. They're 69-55, 15.5 games back of first place. And the Tigers are 55-70 overall, 30 games back of first, and their division elimination number is 7. And in the American League West, the Oakland Athletics still lead with a 74-57 overall record. They've lost their most recent 2 games, but they still lead the division. The Astros lost today. They've lost their most recent 2 games, so they're keeping pace with the Athletics, but not in a good way, not gaining any ground. 69-56 is their overall record. They're 5 games back at first. The Angels are 57-69, 17.5 games back at first. Their division elimination number is 20. The Rangers are in 4th with a 53-72 overall record. They're 21 games back of first, and their division elimination number is 17. And the Mariners are in last with a 51-75 record. They're 23.5 games back of first, and their division elimination number is 14. And here are the wild card standings in the American League. Right now, the White Sox have the top spot with a 71-53 overall record. They've won their last 3 games. The Indians, on a 7-game winning streak, now have that second wild card spot. They passed the Astros because the Astros lost today, so the Astros now on the outside looking in. They're a half game back of the Indians for that second wild card spot. They're 69-56 overall. So right now, if the season ended today, 3 American League Central teams would be in the playoffs. The Twins, the White Sox, and the Indians. The Blue Jays still hanging around. They're 68-58 overall, 2 games back of that second wild card spot. The Rays still contending, but they haven't gotten to a pace yet where they could be in one of those 2 wild card spots, but they're still hanging around, 4.5 games back of that second wild card spot. Same situation with the Red Sox, who were getting closer, but they've backed off a bit. They're 62-63, under 500 with their winning percentage, but they're still close, 7.5 games back of that second wild card spot. It's not unrealistic for them to go on a hot streak and potentially capture one of those spots. Every other team in the American League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 13 games back of that second wild card spot, and the bottom 3 teams on the brink of elimination from playoffs. The Mariners are 51-75 overall. They have a playoff elimination number of 19. The Orioles are 47-77. They have a playoff elimination number of 17, and they're not doing too hot either. They've lost 6 in a row. And the Royals have the worst record in Major League Baseball, which is kind of ironic as well. Well, not ironic, but it's impressive that the same division has the best record and the worst record in Major League Baseball. The Royals with the worst and the Twins with the best, but nonetheless, the Royals have a playoff elimination number of 13. In the National League East, the Atlanta Braves still leading with a 73-53 overall record, and they've won 8 of their last 10 games. The Nationals are 71-55, still second to the Braves, 2 games back. The Marlins are 66-59. They still have a winning percentage over 500, but they're 6.5 back of first place. The Phillies 62-63 overall, 10.5 games back, and the Mets still in last. They're 54-70 overall, 18 games back of first, and their division elimination number is 20. In the National League Central, the Cardinals still leading with a 72-53 overall record. The Cubs, the next best team, they're 67-58. The Cubs beat the Dodgers today. They're 5 games back of the Cardinals. The Brewers are 56-68, 15.5 games back of first. The Reds are 41-73, 51 and 73. They're 20 and a half games back of first place, and their division elimination number is 18. And the Pirates have the worst record in the National League at 45 and 80. They're one game above the Royals for their worst record in all of Major League Baseball, but they're settling right now for the worst record in the National League. Again, 45 and 80 is their overall record. They're 27 games back of first, and their division elimination number is 11. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers lost to the Cubs today, but the Dodgers still have the second best record in Major League Baseball and the best record in the National League at 83 and 44. The Padres are 65 and 60 overall, 17 games back of first place. Their division elimination number is 20. The Diamondbacks are 64 and 62 overall. They're 18 and a half games back. Their division elimination number is 18. The Rockies 56 and 70, 26 and a half games back of first. Their division elimination number is 10. And the Giants are 46 and 78. They have the second worst record in the National League. They're 35 and a half games back of first, and their division elimination number is 2. And here are the wild card standings in the National League. Right now, the Nationals still leading the wild card race with a 71 and 55 overall record. The Cubs would be the second wild card team if the season ended today. They're 67 and 58. The Marlins on the outside now, 66 and 59 is their overall record. They're a game back of that second wild card spot. The Padres still around as well with a 65 and 60 overall record, 2 games back of the second wild card spot. The Diamondbacks 64 and 62, 3.5 games back. The Phillies, 62 and 63, 5 games back. They're under a 500 winning percentage, but they're still rather close to gaining a spot. They just got to get on a hot streak. Every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 10.5 games back of that second wild card spot. And these bottom two teams are on the brink of elimination from playoffs. As mentioned before, the Giants have the second worst record in the National League at 46 and 78. Their playoff elimination number is 18. The Pirates have the worst record in the National League and the second worst record in all of Major League Baseball at 45 and 80. And their playoff elimination number is 16. And let's take a look at league leaders, starting with batting average leaders in the American League. JD Martinez is the leader of the AL with a 341 average. Miguel Cabrera, the next best at a 339, and Miguel Andujar, third best with a 326. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is still at the top. He's up to a 351 average now. Nolan Arenado, the next best at a 339, and Paul Goldschmidt, third best with a 333. Hits leaders in the American League, JD Martinez has the most with 172, Miguel Andujar the next best with 167, and Miguel Cabrera third best with 162. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 168, Ronald Acuna Jr. the next best with 163, and Nolan Arenado rounds up the top three with 158. The bat leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar has the most with 512. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has the most with 524. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon has the most with 41, Jose Abreu the next most with 40, and Miguel Andujar, one away from 40, he's at 39, third best on this leaderboard. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 49, Christian Yelich the next best with 38, and Ronald Acuna Jr. one behind him with 37. Triples leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has the most with 8, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. the next most with 7, Adam Eaton, Oscar Mercado, Jose Altuve, and Byron Buxton all tied for third best. They're all at 6. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 13 triples. Victor Robles and Andrew McCutchen tied with the next most in the NL. They're both at 8. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton still the leader. He's at 42 homers. Chris Davis the second most in the league with 36, and Yohan Moncada third best with 35. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with 45 home runs. That also leads all of Major League Baseball. Paul Goldschmidt 4 behind him with 41, and Eugenio Suarez has the third most in the NL with 36. RBI leaders in the American League, Chris Davis has the most with 102, Nelson Cruz the next most with 98, 4 behind Davis. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Mitch Moreland tied for third best, they're both at 96. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt still the leader, he's at 106. Eugenio Suarez 8 behind Goldschmidt with 98, and Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with 94. Run scored leaders in the American League, 2 Red Sox tied for the top. Rafael Devers and JD Martinez each have scored 93 runs this season so far. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with 104 runs scored. Stolen base leaders in the American League, Malik Smith at the top right now with 32. Adalberto Mondesi the next most with 27. And D. Gordon rounds out the top 3 with 25. In the National League, Trey Turner has passed Starling Marte. He's up to 41 stolen bases. Starling Marte still at 40. That's now good for second best in the league. And Jonathan Villar, third best with 33. Walks leaders in the American League, Shin-Soo Choo right now the sole leader with 78. And in the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a 9-walk lead on Mookie Betts. Goldschmidt's at 88, Betts is at 79. On base percentage leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera has the highest at a 420, JD Martinez the next highest at a 409, and Josh Donaldson rounds out the top three with a 407. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt still the leader. He has a 444 OBP. Christian Yelich, the next best OBP with a 434, on 1 point behind him, Ronald Acuna Jr., who has a 433. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Justin Upton at the top with a 636. Yohan Moncada the next best with a 627, and JD Martinez third best with a 613. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. still has the highest in Major League Baseball. He's at a 748. Paul Goldschmidt the next highest in the league. He's at a 680, and Christian Yelich third best in the NL with a 652. And OPS leaders in the American League, Justin Upton has a 1.022. JD Martinez slightly lower than Upton's, but he's second best with a 1.022 of his own. And Yohan Moncada rounds out the top three with a 1.010. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. still leading. He's at a 1.181. Paul Goldschmidt, the second best in the league. He's at a 1.124. And Christian Yelich, third best with a 1.086. Moving on to pitcher leaderboards, starting with wins leaders in the American League. Lucas Giolito has the most with 14. Jordan Montgomery, Jose Barrios, Jake Odorizzi, and Hyunjin Ryu all tied for second best. They're all at 13. And in the National League, Walker Buehler leads all of Major League Baseball with 16 wins. Steven Strasburg, three behind him with 13. Mike Fultonevich, Yu Darvish, Jimmy Nelson, and Madison Bumgarner are all tied for third best. They're all at 12. Losses leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda and Sean Manaea right now tied with the least amount of losses in the league among pitchers that qualify. They're both at 2. And in the National League, Walker Buehler has the least amount of losses among pitchers that qualify, and he's also at 2. Saves leaders in the American League, Liam Hendricks right now has the most with 38. Brad Hand and Roberto Ozuna tied with the second most. They're both at 37. In the National League, Will Smith and Kenley Jansen at the top of the NL leaderboard. They're at 41. Kirby Yates and Giovanni Gallegos tied with the third most saves. They're both at 40. ERA leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has the lowest at a 2.57, Sean Manaea the next lowest at a 2.69, and Masahiro Tanaka the third lowest at a 2.86. In the National League, Walker Buehler the lowest. He's the only one in Major League Baseball right now who qualifies that has an ERA under 2. He's at a 1.91. Carlos Martinez and Marcus Stroman each have the same exact earned run average, so that ties them both for second best on the leaderboard. They're both at a 2.45 earned run average. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Kenta Maeda has the least amount allowed with 9, and in the National League, Carlos Martinez has the least amount. He's also at 9. Shutout leaders in the American League, Masahiro Tanaka has thrown 5 shutouts, Garrett Cole the next most with 3. Sean Manaea, Jake Odorizzi, and Jose Barrios each tied with the third most shutouts. They're all at 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom leads with 5. Zach Wheeler has 3, second best. Pablo Lopez, Aaron Nola, Sandy Alcantara, Merrill Kelly, Walker Buehler, and Clayton Kershaw all tied with the third most. They're all at 2 shutouts. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole leading the AL with 199. Lucas Giolito has the next most. He's at 190. And Jake Odorizzi rounds up the top 3 with 177. In the National League, Steven Strasburg leads with 206. That also leads all of Major League Baseball. Clayton Kershaw 20 behind him with 186. And Max Scherzer 3 behind Kershaw. Scherzer's at 183. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers. Masahiro Tanaka has thrown 5 complete games. Garrett Cole 2 behind him with 3. Corey Kluber, Sean Manaea, Jake Odorizzi, Jose Barrios, and Aaron Savali all tied for third best. They're all at 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom leads with 5. Zach Wheeler has 4, and Aaron Nola third best with 3. Innings pitched leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu has the most, 174 even. And in the National League, Clayton Kershaw 1 behind his former teammate Ryu. Kershaw's at 173 even. Walks allowed among American League pitchers. Jordan Zimmerman has allowed the least amount among pitchers to qualify. He's allowed 31. And in the National League, Brett Anderson's allowed the least amount among pitchers to qualify. He's at 32. Whip leaders in the American League, Sean Manaea has the lowest at a 102. Ivan Nova the next lowest at a 110. Hyunjin Ryu slightly higher than Nova's, but he's also at a 110. In the National League, Pablo Lopez and Jacob deGrom and Clayton Kershaw, they all have 107s, but some of the insignificant figures that you can't see on that whip differentiate the 3. So Lopez has the lowest, deGrom has the second lowest, and Kershaw has the third lowest. Pitching war leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi has a 4.1, as does Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka is his second best, and Kenta Maeda rounds out the top 3 with a 3.6. In the National League, Walker Buehler leads with a 4.4, Jacob deGrom close to him at a 4.3, and Clayton Kershaw third best with a 3.8. And batting war leaders in the American League, Yohan Moncada has a 7. Francisco Lindor and Alex Bregman are each at 6.6s. But Lindor's is slightly higher than Bregman's, so Lindor second and Bregman third on this leaderboard. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads. He's at an 8.5. That leads all of Major League Baseball. Marcus Semien, the next best, at a 7.9. And Nolan Arenado rounds out the top 3 with a 7.5. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Monday, August the 17th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.